Yo, what is going on, investors? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason, and in today's episode, I'm going to talk to you guys about SoFi stock and how one of the biggest institutional investors in the entire world continues to add more and more and more SoFi shares. There's been a sell-off of SoFi over the past few weeks, and man, institutions have been loading the boat on SoFi stock. So let's talk about who's buying and how many shares. All right, SoFi investors, real quick before we get into the video, I just want to talk about what SoFi did this week. We're up a little over 5% this week, not too bad. In this little baby Robinhood account, I have 230 shares of SoFi. Average price $7.42. Pretty solid week, but if you look over the last month, we're still down around over 11%, and we bottomed around $6.32. And I think these institutions saw the most recent earnings report, which was really, really good. And we think as interest rates come down, SoFi will be able to make even more and more money on loans. And I think these institutional investors agree because they're continuing to load the boat up, man. We touched $7 today, but just creep back down to $6.99. But I do think over the next few months, maybe by the end of the year, we can hold between $8 and $9 pretty easily, in my opinion. So what institutional investor am I talking about? That company is the Vanguard Group, guys. So they owned 68 million shares before February 13th. And then they filed on February 13th. And they increased their stake up to $81 million, an increase of almost 20%. And then in a most recent filing on August 13th, they added another 8% of shares, boom, up to 90 million shares of SoFi. They're getting closer and closer to owning almost 10% of the company. And I think by the end of next year, 2025, they'll own over 100 million shares of SoFi stock. Here's the breakdown right in here, guys. 90 million shares they own, up, like I said, over 8%. And they own currently 8.45% of SoFi stock. That's crazy, guys. It's really, really exciting that this big company, Vanguard, who owns a lot of pretty much all of the public traded companies in America, especially the S&P 500, they're really big investors in those companies, and to own 10% of the company closing in on is really good news for SoFi investors. I want to invest my money where these big institutions are investing their money. And companies like Vanguard see the value in SoFi stock. That's why they continue to increase their stake in SoFi, quarter after quarter. We can see they went from 68 million to 81 million to now over 90 million shares of SoFi stock. I was pretty lucky. I sold around 500 shares of SoFi because in the back of my head, I was like, okay, I think the stock is going to stay under $7 for longer than 30 days. So I sold the shares probably like a month and a half ago. They've stayed under $7 where I sold it. So I get those losses on my taxes, but I'm starting to buy back my shares of SoFi. I already bought 400 of the 500 back. So it's pretty cool. So I get to cancel out some of my gains from this year, and I also get my SoFi shares back where I sold them. So no harm, no foul. I get the shares back where I sold them from, but there's a little tax break at the end of the year coming from me. So let me know in the comments below. What are you doing with your SoFi shares? Are you adding your SoFi shares? Are you selling your SoFi shares? Are you kind of staying put? I'm closing in around 5,000 shares of SoFi in all my different accounts, guys. I would love to know what you're doing with SoFi stock in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like these kind of SoFi updates. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace.